back to the LEC. I'm Ginny, joined on the stage with Carzzy, the AD carry player from Vitality. You guys just have another win under your belt, so congratulations. Let's start off with the spring split so far, because the start of winter was not the best, but you guys have made so many changes. You're getting another win under your belt. What's been going on behind the doors?
So thank you very much. Well, I think the most important part for us is that we have like a lot to learn, and we are basically learning from the beginnings as a team. And I think with our team it's a little bit more extreme than with other rosters. So for us, every week of practice is like a huge step forward. So we just need time, and then we are gonna keep improving all the time, and that's why we're playing a little bit better now.
You need time in split, you need time in game, because it was a really sloppy start. At what point during that game did it feel like, okay, like it's winnable, we got this?
I mean, in the beginning I thought that it's gonna be the same as it was against SK Gaming when we got stomped, and there was like no life in the game at all. But then I think Douglas was very proactive in the game, and he was playing really well. So that gave me some hope, and I was just focused on scaling and getting as many souls as I could.
Yeah, stacking, scaling, that seems to be the theme so far. When it comes to AD carries particularly, AD carry is a role that there's a lot of chatter going around in terms of on socials, in terms of people in general within the community, saying that potentially the agency might not be the way it used to be. What is your opinion on the topic when it comes to the AD carry role?
I mean, I think it's kind of boring, because Varus and Kalista are kind of the leaders of like the strong ADs. And then you just scale with Senna or Smolder, and if you want to scale with anything else, it's just worse than those two. So it's repeating all the time, and that's what makes it boring, because Kalista and Varus have been in the meta for so long right now. And with the addition of Smolder and Senna being strong, it's not very enjoyable.
Okay, then one final question in terms of the AD carries that you would like to play. If you can play any AD carry, who would it be, considering don't care about the meta, don't care about team comp, just your favorite pick?
Ezreal.
Ezreal?
Yeah.
You good with the skill shots?
Yeah.
Not with the flashes?
Not with flashes.
That's so good. Thank you so much, Freddie. Okay. Wow, we're getting ganked by Laure. What?
Ginny.
Oh,
sorry,
hi.
guys.
Hello.
We have an important game on our hands, and I feel
know.
I don't know which mic I should use. I'm going to use both. I feel like we should keep you here. You're Casey's lucky charm from Winter.
Let's go.
They're not going to be happy if we kick you away from the stage now, but let's face it, these two teams in Winter, not so good. Not making playoffs.
I mean, they won the last two games.
They won the last two games, and actually, guys, do you see a glimpse of hope on the side of each team? And if so, what is it going to come down to today?
I mean, I think for Karmine Corp, we're definitely seeing them start to improve when it comes to, hey, we have a very decisive early game. We want to play hyper-aggressive. We're playing around these really minute timings that Bo has been able to find in the jungle, where he wants to set up for dragons and those kind of things. But I definitely think, I mean, we even talked about it earlier, Broxah, it feels like the mid-game has just been such a struggle where individual performers aren't there, or they're trying to do too much and getting caught out on the map.
And I think Rogue is the exact opposite of that. They're trying to do too little, they're too passive. So I think it's going to be a really interesting game to see if one of them can actually find the balance. Karmine Corp slowing down a bit and finding his stop button, or Rogue starting to be more proactive and playing more aggressive.
Yeah, we even saw it the other day for Comp, right? Got that massive lead on Kalista, and just they weren't able to find that kind of success. So I want to see Rogue playing off of these advantages once they find that moment.
We talked on Reddit Check about stability of the rosters versus making roster changes. Do you think that from the last two games that we saw from KC in Winter, they showed enough to continue with this roster?
I think when we're looking at KC specifically in Winter, the last two games there was no pressure, and that's something to take into consideration as well when we're looking at their performances. But this time around, everybody's aware there have been a couple of changes. They look a lot more proactive. It does feel like they're reaching that point where everyone is actually playing the same game at the same time.
Screen.
Right?
Yeah.
They're finally on the same page, which is great to see. But then it also brings into question, when we're looking at the side of Rogue, you're saying you want them to step up. I'm saying KC's playing a bit more aggressive. Who's actually going to be doing it?
Well, let's find out right now. I was going to talk to casters for the last game of the day. Take it away, guys.
Where are we taking away?
We're taking you on a magical journey.
Well, no, isn't there that song?
Hello.
Take me away, 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 away. It's definitely a song. I feel like it's from like a High School Musical or something.
My pop culture references are of a low standard. Drakos.
Yeah, mine are from the 90s. It's a bit of a struggle.
Drakos is the man that you would typically ask. Well, welcome to our final game of the day. It is, of course, day one, week 2. And all I was going to say, like, there's a lot of stakes. And I thought of a clever way to say it, and then I actually didn't say it at all. Why is this game important?
It's like an episode of Hell's Kitchen. A lot of stakes.
Exactly. Casey and Rogue, as our analysts just highlighted, did not do very well in winter.
Could say they've been raw, Betty.
That they... Yes, you could say that. I think.
But are they going to be able to get a black jacket? Find out next week.
Or right now. In any case, the severity of what I'm trying to get at is that because they perform so poorly, their championship points are very, very low.
Yes.
And when you think about the entirety of the year, championship points are super important. So when you think about someone like these two teams, these are your competitors that you want to make sure that you are beating. And even though Karmine Corp seems to be on an upward trajectory, right now, they do still find themselves at 1 and 2. So they need to win just as much as Rogue do. So without further ado, let's talk about the draft. Draven, Taliyah, Aatrox taken away from Rogue. Smolder, Orianna, and Hui banned away from Rogue. Naturally, I was going to say Kalista, Varus, Senna are the champions that you look at. I wonder if Comp will reply with a Senna Nautilus of their own, if they even consider the Senna to be something that is worth prioritizing here, or if they just want to get the Varus themselves.
In something like a blind taste test, obviously the Senna ranks very highly. Lots of people like to identify that. However, Ahri also up there. Going to be locked in for
Surprised to actually see this high of a priority. I think there are still good matchups into the Ahri. The question is, will Saken bring out the Annie? I know over in the LCK and the LPL, they have been big Annie merchants. They found some great success. We already talked about the Malignant Annie has been rising in popularity as well. So we'll see. What have you got prepared for us as an answer to this Ahri?
Well, there's the Senna alongside it. Obviously, still the Orianna a possibility for Karmine Corp. We've also seen Saken bring out the Aurelian Soul. Had a strong early performance on that and then struggled a little bit on teamfights, a bit over-aggressive with some of his Astral Flights. Karmine Corp already have a very powerful early bot lane pick. I wonder if we'll see Bo looking towards something like the Vi instead. The Rell, a possibility. Locked in. Can, of course, be teamed up with the Kalista in bot lane as a support. I expect a mid lane pick here for Saken. And then we'll see Rogue answering with a jungler of their own.
Crowd is continuing to build hype. What will the lock-in be here? Of course, the KC fans is enthusiastic as ever. They want to see their team succeed.
I mean, Ahri just feels really good in this one. Oh, it's banned. Then it definitely doesn't feel good, because that would be cheating if you locked it in right now.
Cheating, yes. Looks like they're going to go with the Neeko. I think it's a fine matchup. If this Rell is in jungle, relatively low damage, mid-jungle duo, but that's not the worst case when primarily you want to find advantages in the bot side of the map. Nautilus being left open means that this should be an easy lock-in for Rogue. They can then ban away some of the problematic answers to it. It depends on how highly they value it, because of course you could save Nautilus for the second round of rotation, instead just locking your jungler here. Looks like instead they're just going to go with the Nautilus.
I like Senna Naut. I think it's a very strong combination. Obviously, we've seen Naut farming. You can do farming Senna as well. We'll see where Rogue decide to go. It does mean, though, Karmine Corp likely to look towards jungle bans if they want to try and pinch Markoon's pool with their jungler likely already locked in that Rell.
You're looking at Vi, you're looking at Xin. Vi actually is like fallen way down on the priority list this weekend. Considering how much EU love that champion, I am a little surprised myself. It's so good again at locking down AD carries, especially in conjunction with things like the Nautilus as well.
Been
Top
drawing
lane,
a bit of attention.
Yep. I guess Karmine know that they have to blind pick something and they want to limit. It does suggest Cabo might be thinking about a Renekton, or he's thinking about Cassante. Yeah. Cassante, since the nerfs, does seem to be on a much lower priority list here in EU.
Cabo's played the Gnar and the Renekton so far. Lee Sin taken away just in case this Rell is going support.
For Rogue, very likely then. They can just lock that one in next.
I mean, but Karmine Corp can also just ban it. It seems pretty obvious that Rogue wants to look towards that Jarvan. Will Karmine Corp read it the same way we do, or perhaps they're reading left to right or right to left? Said the right does give you great lockdown potential with the Ahri. Obviously, it's a bit more point and click than the Jarvan as well, because as we saw in the last few games, Jarvan, Ahri, someone needs to land their CC before the follow-up can come in. With Vi, it's like, okay, I press R on you and you're locked down. Rogue cycling through a few possibilities as jungle. Like, Viego, Ahri,
it's fine,
very, very strong. Like, you've got good CC from both of them. Again, you have to hit the first one, and then huge damage follow-up.
For sure, for sure. I mean, I think LEC can also be a pretty good matchup into the Viego as well, so it does make sense. Right now, they're a little limited in terms of AoE crowd control. They have a lot of single target damage on their side, right? I think the response to the Xin here is pretty solid. It's a strong early game jungler that can match. In terms of, I would give the 2v2 advantage to Rogue, especially once they hit level 6, just because of the sheer mobility they have. But that can be swung. It's a close 2v2.
Especially if Neeko finds a good engage with her ultimate. Right?
That's what I mean.
It's very situational on who finds the first bit of CC, who gets followed up on Karmine Corp, going
blind Urgot.
Urgot for Cabochard. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Vedius, but I have read the patch notes, and I don't think Warden's Mail was removed from the game.
What? No.
Okay, so that's pretty good build into the Urgot. If you just go an early Warden's Mail, it really negates much of what he can do. Rogue is so bad. Wow,
I didn't realize you hated Urgot that much.
I'm just saying, the item kind of counters him, and Malphite can build that item first. I'm just putting it out into the ether.
I mean,
Bladed Steel Cap, Warden's Mail, Urgot will do no damage to the Malphite.
I'm aligned that I don't see how the Urgot fits here. So I'm going to leave it open. I'm not going to make any early judgments because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot in that there might be technology here that I don't understand that is beyond, you know, like maybe I haven't played his game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
and we are unfamiliar with his game.
Exactly.
So it's possible we'll have to apologize.
We may very well have to apologize. Finn going to round things out with a Malphite. I talked about how they don't have a lot of... well, I'm not sure if I'd call Malphite reliable CC, but it's definitely CC. And if he can connect it onto someone like a Kalista, I know for a fact that Malphite can make Kalista's life very difficult to play. I like overall what Rogue have done. I think that they have pretty solid options in that they have a very strong mid-jungle that gives them agency and skirmishing in the early game. You pair that up with a Nautilus, and that is a very powerful 3 versus 3. You have Senna, which is the scaling insurance into the late game, and you have Malphite that acts as this wall that can just control this Urgot, in theory, in the side lanes on the top side of the map as well. So overall, I'm a big fan of what Rogue are bringing to the table. I'm ready to be surprised by what this Urgot can do on the side of KC.
Cabochard has brought it out on the LEC stage in the past.
Oh, he certainly has.
LEC Summer 2020 was the last time he played it. Against XL, they lost that game.
Well, wasn't 2019, 2020 when Urgot was like peak meta?
Yeah, he played it a bunch in 2019, played it at the World Championships versus Genji, who just beat T1. Therefore, good pick.
Okay.
Transitive property of Urgot.
I'm sold.
I think he's played 9 games on it, won 5 of them, lost 4, so he does have a positive record. We'll watch. We'll see how the game goes. I think it's a bit of a learning experience for both of us, and not often that you get to see an Urgot played in the top lane.
Well, I'm excited. I'm ready. So without further ado, the coaches will fist bump, and we're getting ready for our final game of the day. It's KC versus Rogue. There's a lot on the line for both these teams. I know right now we're very early on into the split, but this is the team that you need to beat to, at the very least, avoid that 9th, 10th spot. A lot on the line for both these teams, so let's see what they can show us. We're getting ready. Game 5, KC versus Rogue.
It's been 3 years since we saw an Urgot in the LEC. Janax was the last to play it in 2021. Last win was Wonder back in 2021 as well. So let's see what Cabochard can present to us, what tasty morsel he has cooked up, whether it will be to the chef's delight or whether it will be demoted to the trash can of history.
I'm just doing a bit of research very quickly.
Yeah, you do it. You do your research. You're checking to see if Urgot's been recently changed.
14.4, he had a bug fix. 13.7, he had a bug fix.
So the bug fix was Purge, which is your W, wasn't properly applying Hullbreaker. So you...
I think it's GB that's been selling me on Hullbreaker Urgot for a
Hullbreaker Shyvana is what he loves, but he hates it because it doesn't work the way he wants it to work. He did get Masters recently on his Shyvana top-only account, so credit to GB for that. Doran's Ring start for Finn, gone Comet.
As far as I can tell, the last patch change where he was like buff/nerfed, looks like he was nerfed, was back in 12.10, aside from a few bug fixes.
I think that might be a buff. Base health up, health growth up.
Oh yeah,
increased.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking the wrong way around. So yeah, he's been cooking, apparently. Must be due to the itemization. I'm looking forward to seeing what he builds. I don't know what the modern day Urgot builds are.
But I'm still in the camp that hyperkinetic position reversal was the best ultimate in the game.
There are people that are watching that have no idea what you're talking about.
Look it up, Gen Z.
They don't know. They don't know that Urgot used to swap you. They're going to be like, what? And
so
like,
good.
it's true. He used to fire crab claws from his little turret thing, and he used to swap
places with you.
Yeah, he would swap places with you.
I played support Urgot for a while, and my whole goal was flash, ult the enemy AD carry, flip him into my team. I'd die immediately after.
He was like a terrible Singe. Yeah. That's the way to think about him. Anyway, early jungle pathing. Let's have a look. We can see that Markoon starting on the bot side, pathing up towards top.
Oh, flash in from Targo as he hits 6. Comp has to cleanse flash away. Both summoners burnt on the rogue bot lane.
That's a good trade.
Yeah, especially with Bo coming in.
Exactly that. We know that Bo is a hyper-aggressive jungler. I think he's been a core part of their success so far this split. Admittedly, though, there's no bottom jungle for him to take, but Comp recognizes the dive is very real. Bo is sitting in the fog of war.
I mean, Comp's just losing XP here.
He's losing so much. He's going to lose so much farm here. Bo
Zoelys will get solo XP, so hits the 2. Comp can walk back forward now. Zoelys flashes away from the wind, becomes lightning. Targamas tanking up the tower. Ferromancy gives him a shield. The hook going down as well, but Upset not tanking. Plate falls. Bo has to flash. In the end, Comp lost a bit of XP.
I mean, credit to them, because I think that's about as well as Rogue could have played it.
Yep.
Casey really wanted to force that dive. Zoelys with a really good flash to create space between him and Bo. Targamas was in an awkward position as well in terms of when he was stuck underneath the tower. No kills end up going down. Summoners used on Bo, Targamas, Zoelys as well.
I think Markoon also went in and stole the blue while all of that was happening after they saw Bo on the ward in Tribush. So Bo's going to walk back into his jungle and be down a blue buff. That will leave him pretty blue.
You make me so angry sometimes.
I made myself angry with that one, I'm sorry, man. Recall from Cabochard. Got a bit of a cheater off there. Finishes his cull. Well, buys his cull, and now we'll start stacking it up. Gorman's blade as well for Bo off that first recall. So, in the end, the dive did materialize. Didn't really pay off for Karmine Corp. Slight gold lead for Rogue, mostly because Markoon's been able to farm through his jungle camps that little bit more. Comes out with an extra longsword over Bo. Pings towards the Drake from both teams. Might just be they want to set up vision around it. Could also be, I believe, the Scuttle Crab is on that side of the map. No Scuttle Crab's taking as of yet, so Markoon sprinting his way down there to make sure that Bo, after clearing top into bot, as you would expect, doesn't get a Scuttle Crab down towards this bottom side.
Markoon now going to make his way towards mid. Going to be spotted on that vision. Observer's highlighting it for us now. Maybe looking for another play in bot lane. I think right now they just want to help Larssen push out that wave. Yep. Good stuff from Markoon. He's going to actually path back towards his bot side camps. You can see the ping coming down onto the minimap. Larssen wants to get a base off, has the TP available if he wants to spend it.
Actually, super interesting. That topside Scott was just going to be totally abandoned. I think Markoon thought that Bo would go for it when he saw that his blue was missing. And then Bo thought Markoon had gone for it before he had done his reset. So a little bit of extra golden XP just sitting on the map. No one's spotting it as of yet. Finn pushed in this top wave. Wants this recall. Wave not in the best of shapes for him right now, just outside that turret. No flash, remember, on Comp. Tries to get away from this. Targamas going for the engage, though Elise doesn't have a flash either, and Vitality are not in this game. It's Karmine Corp, in fact, who get first blood.
I mean, nicely done. What else really is there to break down? The fact that they punished the flashless Zoelys. The wave was in a really good spot. There was no vision on that bot side. And now they can convert it into a dragon. Easy play from KC, nothing too complicated, and they make it work.
Yeah, good stuff all around from Karmine Corp, punishing the fact that the summoners weren't available for the rogue bot lane. Markoon will see this Scuttle Crab, pass his way up towards the grubs, knowing that he doesn't have the pressure in the bot lane to try and fight.
He'll likely get the grubs as well. Yeah. He's got a pretty healthy XP advantage over Bo. We'll get that level 6 very soon. You can see that he's just been power farming in this early game. He should feel safe enough to secure all 3 grubs as well, which will tick him over to level 6.
I mean, the problem is, though, for the rogue bot lane, like, Markoon's on the other side of the map. You've just got back into this lane. You're going to lose another plate. Bo can just wait here.
Look, Neeko is making his way over as well. Saken leveraging some of the push that he has to offer threat. And now the Urgot is saying, you want to dive me? thoughts, guys? Because that would be the traditional cross map, but the wave's not in a good enough position to really threaten that dive. Cabo should feel very safe here. Still has the flash up. Fleet footwork going to keep him nice and healthy. And overall, Casey's sitting in a pretty comfortable spot right now, even with the lead that Markoon does have, and it's a pretty sizable one in the jungle. You can see a huge camp advantage, 400 gold lead. That Kalista is getting very strong, very fast. First base, boots, Berserker's Greaves into the recurve bow. That's a great back.
It really is. Kalista obviously really wanting that upgraded boots early. Increases your martial poise. The ability just to dash around the fights as much as possible.
Sometimes we do see priority on the serrated Dirk. When we had Treats on the broadcast last split, he was talking a lot to us about how it can just be really powerful as an early trading tool. Your Q, get so much value out of it. But Upset instead choosing to, as you rightly said, go for those early boots.
Bo positioning towards this mid lane. Saken getting the push in here. Upset and Targamas are just waiting around the corner. Wave in the bot lane, I think, is just freezing outside of their tower. Slowly will begin to push back towards them so they can work their way down there, but gave a little bit of free time for Comp and Zoelys. Both their summoners now back up. Wave actually just going to sit here for a little while longer unless Upset and Targamas come in and clear it out. Kind of need Bo to come across, but he's probably going for red so he can get 6. Zoelys and Comp stepping forward, and Targamas Upset respecting it. They have a sizable lead, as you said, at almost 1,500 gold ahead for Upset, but they have to respect the fact that they are at a numbers disadvantage at the moment, or at least don't have the extra back.
I mean, so this is a really great example of Bo just playing around bot waves really well. He's pretty much here every time there's a stacked wave. Now, this wave's a bit awkward. You'll see him, he moved into the Tribrush. I think he cleared out some vision, and then he just left again. Yep. He may not have even done vision. He may have just been looking for an opportunity, but I wanted to say, I feel like that I just don't see him clear his top camps. He's going to lose his second blue buff again.
Markoon's clearing them.
Yeah, he doesn't really care that much because his priority is getting this bot side of the map ahead. And we talked about how in the draft, mid jungle is like solid. If they met in an early skirmish, there's ways in which the KC mid jungle can win. But this game is all about playing through this bot side of the map, getting the Kalista ahead and putting the Senna behind. They threaten the dive once again. Zoelys.
Tower shot. Nothing from Targamas yet. Death charge going down onto Upset. Zoelys tries to flash away. Larssen brace with the root, not going to do too much more. Larssen coming across, looks for the charm, lands it, but there's the Fate's call to pull out Targa. And Karmine Corp execute the dive pretty perfectly.
I just credit to Bo. Every time there's a stacked wave there, he is there with them. I think this is a really great example of how you can really attack this bot side of the map. They have all of their summoners, but they know that they're not in a position to answer because their Viego is on the top side of the map. He just stole away the blue buff. And I wonder how deep this is going from Bo. If he's seen that he's stealing my blue right now, guys. We're fine. We can make this dive happen. Very nicely done. Trader flashes Zoelys in exchange for bows. Larssen tries to get something back, but the ultimate from Kalista is there to take him to safety. And just well-played stuff from KC. 2-0 now on the board. The gold lead not too dramatic, but it's less about that and more about the fact that this Kalista is accelerating. She is already in a very powerful spot. Wouldn't be surprised if they even consider swapping her up towards the top side. Maybe they want to try and unlock those grubs or towers. Maybe they just want to keep this 2v2 going for as long as possible. Zoelys has been left isolated on the bot side of the map. Here comes Finn with the ult.
Cabochard has the flash. Uses it as Sane to flip over Finn, but Comp takes the kill. No flash burnt there by Cabochard, holding on to it, knowing that he was pretty much doomed. Zoelys clears out the wave with the Riptide hook. Upset just dodged to the side of it. Grub's up, though, and it looks like Markoon's going to go for 6 here. With the Drake still 30 seconds away, they have a small window to take these and maybe contest Drake, but fighting it, not always the easiest thing to do when you are behind in that AD carry role.
Here's what I will say. Even with the early game going like this for KC, I think Malphite might just make Kalista irrelevant.
Yeah.
Now, not the player, as in like the actual function in this game. Malphite is just such a good pick into Kalista. Like his E just makes Kalista players really sad. Another play going to be secured. They're now going to threaten another dive. Here we go.
What are you going to do, Zoelys? I can tell you something for sure. You're likely to be 6 feet under in just a moment's time. Targamas almost falls. There's the depth charge, though, perfectly played by Zoelys as Larssen comes in for the cleanup. There's 2. Looking for 3 as Larssen dashes forward. The charm connects. And Karmine Corp thought it was rinse and repeat, but instead, they have their heads handed to them by Rogue. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Cabochard just got back to the wave, has had to flash. The tower's about to die, the disdain comes out, becomes tanking it. Finn does the same, and Rogue get 4 across the map.
And it's actually Rogue that unlocked the top tower first. The solution was to just send Comp top.
Yeah.
Make him the Malphite support and have the Nautilus be the solo laner. And they don't care if you kill Zoelys. Really great play here from Larssen. Keep your eyes on the minimap because the dive doesn't really matter. Zoelys plays this about as well as he can. The ultimate from Senna also offering a lot of time.
Saving the depth charge as well. Really good there from Zoelys.
Really good stuff. And then it's just the arrival of Larssen. He gets the reset on his ultimates. Has enough to secure a triple kill. And while all this is happening, there's a top dive. Freddy, so much enthusiasm on his face. Incredibly proud of his team there. But very well played. Now look at Rogue, 3k gold lead. And it comes back to the fact that Markoon is now a full level above his jungle counterpart. He's just been perma-farming. This Viego is incredibly strong now. When we get back into the game, we'll highlight just how strong he is. Look at those itemizations. The Kraken Slayer already completed. 1,000 gold lead in the mid lane as well. Malignant's finished for Larssen. 12 minutes in. That's a pretty good timing to have that done.
And the game just gets harder for Karmine Corp. You had this lead in the AD carry role, and you still have it. You know, you have 800 gold advantage there, but Zoelys is ahead as expected with him having farmed. Mid lane is now almost 1,000 gold ahead for Rogue. Markoon is 700 gold ahead, and Finn has a 1.2k gold lead on a Malphite.
That he does.
Next item, Frozen Heart. You know who dislikes Frozen Heart? Urgot and Kalista. They do not have a fun time into this Malphite, and I feel the surprise factor of this Urgot is more of a shock perhaps for Karmine Corp fans because it hasn't been as effective as KC would have wanted.
I still have a bit of a shock around the Urgot blind.
Yeah.
That is something that I still don't really fully understand. Hopefully we can get some insight from KC afterwards because like the Malphite seemed like such a perfect pick, you know, in terms of itemization, in terms of what it does into the comp. And I just feel like that by locking in Urgot, you unlocked this Malphite. You know, if you pick Gragas top as a blind, then I don't remember if it was banned or not, so forgive me if I'm incorrect, but something...
There were other options that didn't allow Rogue to just say, okay, Malphite.
Potentially.
Yeah.
In any case, this is the situation that KC now find themselves in. The good news is that Kalista is still in a pretty powerful position. The bad news is that Larssen's Ahri is in an even stronger position, and I think Rogue are going to be happy to fight whenever they want.
So at least just hooks in. Caught out here by Karmine Corp as he went a little bit deep. Charm coming out. Saken with a good knock-up onto Larssen. There's a Magnetstone follow-up. Spirit Rush flash from Larssen gets him to safety. Fear Beyond Death will pull back Zoelys.
Here comes Finn.
And Cabochard gets one. Finn on his way. Has the flash. Has the unstoppable force. Communications likely around who has flash for Karmine Corp. If you're Rogue, can we look for the fight? Spirit Rush is used away by Larssen there. Meaning that he unlikely wants to take this battle. Rift Herald secured by Karmine Corp. And they get another fight in their favor. TP to the bot lane. It's going to be Larssen trying to push in that wave. Remember, 6 grubs will help Rogue quite a lot in terms of taking down these towers. Markoon looking for the top lane here as Saken positions his clone in the bush. Helicoptering to extend the duration.
Finn gets the movement speed from the clone.
Oh, good from Saken. A bit of a misstep perhaps from Markoon flashing when those Tangle Barbs were still available.
I wonder if he tried to flash over it. But yeah, so part of the reason why Rogue is 0-3 is because of plays like this. Zoelys shouldn't have done that. He's forced to flash very early. The charm connects, but like this fight is just jointed because the Malphite isn't here. Yep. Once Finn arrives, it's too late because everything has already been used on the side of Rogue. And it gives KC an opportunity to get a kill back. They get their Rift Herald as well. They can use this to try and unlock the mid tower. And this is the beauty of KC versus Rogue. We don't know what's going to happen.
The game's like a box of chocolates with some Brussels sprouts in there. Some of the chocolates have treacle in the middle. One of them's full of jalapenos for some reason.
It's going to be an experience, that's for sure.
It's a wild ride, Betty, and we're here for every damn second of it.
1 minute 20 until the next dragon spawns. I'm hoping we get another big fight. Cabochard here to try and catch this bot wave. Nice use of the dash there from Cabo to interrupt, or say, survive the charm, I should say. Disdain, that's the name of the ability.
It is the name of the ability.
Not a great name, I will admit, for a dash.
It's lore appropriate. You know, Urgot hating everything. He's like, throws you with disdain.
Oh, true,
But
yeah.
yes, I agree. It's a bit of a weird one.
Does he have nice ability names? Let's have a look. Corrosive Charge, that makes sense. Purge.
There's one
Beyond
good one, yeah.
Death.
There we go.
You like that
Fear
one?
beyond death.
You like that one?
You're afraid even in the grave.
I mean, to be fair, all I hear most play-by-play say is the meat grinder.
Yeah, but that applies to everything. Okay? Don't call us out like that. Drakos is in the back room crying right now because of you.
I hear flowers.
It's everything he ever needed.
Every play-by-play. It's like when they see an Urgot, I remember 2020, every single one of you. It's just a meat grinder. Mid tower going to fall in favor of Rogue. Dragon up in 10 seconds. KC actually have a pretty good access to the Dragon Pit here as the cross map happens on the bot side of the map. Saken has to be careful. He's looking for an opportunity to flank. Doesn't quite have his flash up.
Larssen's trying to mark him. Smart move by the Ahri there. Now knows that's Saken. He switches back into Kalista. Frozen Heart finished on Zoelys will help with that attack speed slow. Dragon down to 7,000. Targamas stepping forward. Finn doing the same. The hook onto Targamas. The charm to follow. Fate's Call pulls him out. Zoelys falls low. Fear beyond death. The meat grinder cometh as Finn is going to get locked up as well into the Pot Blossom. He tries to dive back in. Targamas tries to dive onto the back line. Finn goes down, but now it's on Larssen and Comp to really open up. Bow next to fall. Upset dancing and weaving his way around the fight. But Markoon stolen. The disdain of Karmine Corp. He takes away the Urgot and takes away the lives of KC and Ace for Rogue.
It looked like a promising fight for Rogue. They were able to take out the Nautilus so quickly. And keep your eyes on the front line here of KC. Targamas, a charm is going to connect onto him. He's going to get pulled to safety by Upset. It's looking dangerous for him, but then he gets pulled back and then they take out that front line very quickly. Now this re-engage here. The ultimate only connects onto Finn. Markoon then on the backline is able to get that initial kill, and then the resets start to come through. That ultimate becomes available. He steals away the Rell, gets some nice CC down, and Larssen and Comp on the backline are left untouched. Upset just doesn't quite have the damage to turn this in their favor, and it ends up in a one-team fight for Rogue. Very well played by them.
Just a lot invested with the Pot Blossom only hitting onto Finn. I feel like if you've been able to get a little bit further in, you have that backline access.
I wasn't keeping track, but before the fight, Saken's flash wasn't up. I now see it up, but I wonder if during that fight it still hadn't yet come up. Because as you rightly said, if he'd flashed, that could have hit everyone, right?
He catches Larssen. It could have been a very different state of affairs, but now Rogue, 5,000 gold ahead, well, 4.5. They also get the Dragon, stop the stacking from Karmine Corp. They have those 6 grubs that Markoon so deliciously delivered to them earlier in the game, and you have Larssen in a carry performance again. And I think this spring, this winter, we haven't seen that as much from Larssen, but when he really started to make his name in the LEC, this is what it was about. He was a humanoid type figure who could just put the team on his back in fights like this. Here, obviously bolstered by Markoon playing well, Finn, you know, the rest of the team is playing well around him, but when Larssen is this fed on his Ahri, he's something to be fit.
I mean, the reality is that Zoelys is the only one that's really been dying this game.
Yeah, but
right?
he has also been like left on his own. It hasn't been his fault.
But also just on a Nautilus, that's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. And I ultimately think that Rogue have been able to keep the game largely even because they've had a winning top side of the map. Mid has been neutralized largely. And they were able to find a lot of great dives to then propel the gold lead. And now that they've found kill after kill, pick after pick, Rogue find themselves in a very dominant position. The only person at a gold deficit is Comp. But you look at the itemization, those AD carries are pretty even.
Yeah, they definitely are. You see Rogue setting up a 1-3-1. What you'll tend to see in this sort of situation is when one of the side laners is showing on a wave, the other one will hide in fog of war. You see Larssen doing that. He's sitting in a bush, not pushing out this wave. Finn has now shown. Larssen will wait to see if someone answers this wave and then can show and try and match Cabochard. Upset catching the top lane wave. Larssen will catch the bot side as the rest of his team resets to once again replenish their stores of vision and look to control the map even more. Still 2 minutes on the next Drake. I doubt Rogue will look for an early Baron Vedi. It's always a possibility.
They don't have the fastest Baron, that's for sure. I will continue to point out for our viewers, if you want to keep track of the stacks, you just have to look at this little icon here.
It's not that many. I have seen Comp leaving quite a few stacks on the ground, which always makes me sad.
But yeah, next to the icons, you can see the stacks, you can see the experience bar as well. And this applies to most of our stacking champions. I don't
I'm
really...
pretty sure it's all our stacking champions.
Yeah.
You know there were 15 infinitely stacking champions in League of Legends?
I did not know that, Minik. It's a fun fact.
List them for us, Betty.
I just said I don't know that.
No, you didn't know there were 15, but you can list all those infinite.
I don't think I can, actually.
Okay, so there's 2 that I don't think anyone at home will get.
So Senna and Smolder.
You have 30 seconds, everyone at home. In 30 seconds, I'll tell you the 2 I don't think you'll get, because the other ones are obvious.
Senna, Smolder, Scion.
Yep.
3 that I know.
Swain.
He stacks?
Yeah, he stacks his health.
Ah.
When you hit your
Just shows how
your
the last
abilities.
time I saw a Swain.
A fight might happen. The tower falls here. Casey setting up around it. Draven infinitely stacking as well. Adoration stacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's another good one. That does make sense.
There are 2 that I think are slightly cheating. I think the Draven one is slightly cheating because it like, only affects your execute damage on your ultimate, but it is.
But it's a stack, yeah.
Silas, because if you have a Cho'Gath on the enemy team, technically you can infinitely stack health. Because you steal his ultimate, you feast something, and you get the health from it.
Wow.
Right? Obviously Cho'Gath as well, not cheating. Shyvana is the other one I think is kind of cheating. Because technically, if the game goes on forever, every time you kill a dragon, you get extra armor and magic resist.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a fun fact. I enjoyed all of that, Minik. Thank you for that.
If you want to find out all of them, they are listed on the LOL wiki. So you can just look up infinite stacking champions or look up Shyvana and it's somewhere down the list. I'm not going to list them all here because, well, firstly because I can't remember them all, and secondly because there's a game of League of Legends happening in front of us.
I'm also hoping that a fight's about to break out. It's KC that have primary control of the objective, but look at the top lane.
Yeah.
Pings coming down for Larssen.
Do you care about this Drake?
I mean,
you're Rogue?
I don't think it's enough. I mean, if you're Rogue, not really.
Yeah, just let him take it.
Just keep him here. Let Larssen do work in a side lane.
Menacing. Send them a threatening
I mean, he
letter.
also has the TP anyway. Does he have a good ward to TP to? Not really.
To whom it may concern. Maybe we
Markoon.
fight. Markoon goes in. Fear Beyond Death going on to him as well. He's pulled back by Cabochard. Is looking for the fear only onto Zoelys. Larssen continues to split push. The Drake secured by Karmine Corp. They get a kill, but they lose an inhibitor for it.
So Markoon didn't need to do that. He just walked into a brush that he did not have control over, and he gets punished for it. A bit of a blunder there, because I think you could have put even more pressure on them, maybe even started threatening that mid-tier 2. Maybe not, maybe that would have been a little too ambitious. But now I think there's a real window for KC to actually threaten that Baron. They're not even going to consider it, though. With Jungler dead, you have numbers advantage, and in my opinion, a good opportunity to force a fight, but you did use 2 ultimates, so I understand their hesitancy. At the end of the day, as you rightly said, top inhibitor secured for Rogue. Now sole point for KC, and that's probably what they think is probably worth it in their minds. They can keep Cabo now constantly accepting these minions coming into their base, and this is where the pressure needs to now be thrown by Rogue. They need to start threatening more on the map, whether it be something on the bot side, maybe they go for that bot tier 2, maybe they want to use the Baron as an objective to force something. They need to leverage the fact that they have constant pressure in top lane, because if you don't, you are just going to funnel all that farm into KC, and they need to be punished for it.
Yep. I think that's what Rogue will look to do. Death cap for Larssen now on this Ahri's hit that power spike, finish pushing in the bot wave. That's matched by Saken. He went Jackshow second for this exact eventuality, getting himself a little bit of magic resist. Could have gone towards the Frozen Heart, but with Zoelys already having completed that, having a second doesn't matter too much apart from the 1v1 matchup into Cabochard, or into upset if some weird lane assignments did occur. Tier 2 in the bottom lane was the first target. TP behind by Karmine Corp here. There's the Neeko pop blossom onto Larssen. Zoelys as well. Last embrace going in. Ooh. And the unstoppable force meets a very movable object. Karmine Corp are knocked off the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big fall, it seems, as they are locked out of the fight. 2 kills over to Rogue in exchange for just Zoelys. Larssen going in once again. Charm buffered away by Cabochard, but that's another tier 2 for Rogue's coffers.
Great ultimate from Finn. I like the idea from KC. A nice TP flank from Saken, locking up Larssen and Zoelys, but it's just the support that becomes the target. 6 deaths to his name, but ultimately he is the person on your team that you want dying. As Larssen, deathless, Comp, deathless. Only a single kill onto Markoon as well. They're going to secure the Baron. Rogue looking to find their first win of Spring.
So look at their last embrace from Comp here, because I think it's what sets up the unstoppable force.
So we're going to see the flank coming in from Saken. Oh, the root connects onto 3, and just the timing is fantastic from Finn. And who says that Malphite doesn't have any mechanics? Very nicely done. And an eyebrow raise, as there's not much you could have done about that. Well played by Rogue. But we talked about the combo. We talked about how great this Malphite pick is. And that's a Zhonya's. He is picking up the arm guard for Finn so that he can have that extra bit of durability.
Gives you armor.
I like it.
Likes armor. We do see it from time to time. Saken here, cosplaying as a minion, but very easily spotted by Larssen because minions don't usually dodge your Orb of Deception. Markoon looking to see if anyone takes the greedy route through the jungle. No one will do so. Rogue now going to set up down towards this bottom side. You can see Cabochard pushing out top, means that Karmine Corp have to take safer routes through their jungle, means they have to step a little bit further back. Probably means that they have to give up this tier 2 because they know they're always going to be at a numbers disadvantage. Saken is matching Finn in the mid lane. Finn still has a TP if he needs to get over here really quickly. Cabochard might just be looking for an objective bounty, or at least a little bit more gold for KC. 7,000 gold lead now for Rogue with a minute and a half left on the bound. Finn's going to come across, has that unstoppable force. Cabochard spotted by that super minion. Rogue can just step forward. You've got comp, you've got the range. There's the TP behind. Karmine Corp going to pull the trigger, but is their gun loaded with blanks? They got 6 shots at it. But there goes the Magma Storm. There's the first. Fear Beyond Death on top as well. The stop on Saken means he can't engage. He couldn't get in with a Part Blossom, but still, the shutdown to Cabochard. Larssen's still alive on the backline. Comp has fallen. Bo pulled back in, dashes back in, but falls as Markoon takes the kill. Markoon continuing to step in. Heartbreaker forward. Can't land a Spectral Maw. Rogue will claim the inhibitor as their prize.
KC ultimately get a kill onto Comp, but it's Rogue that remain the victors. They unlock another inhibitor.
Saken has TP.
I don't think they can really force anything here, though. That, I believe it was the ultimate from Zoelys that connected onto Saken, and it just stopped him. Saken's ulti could have been huge. Again, he doesn't have the flash to find that angle. He used it earlier in the mid lane play, but that could have been decisive from Saken. He just couldn't quite find the angle. I'm really hoping we had a replay of that, because Zoelys, wow, what an ultimate from him.
And that's the power of Nautilus. Like you talk about supports as you get later into the game. You know, CC is obviously so powerful, but Nautilus having a point and click, do not come near me, is so impactful when the enemy team is all keyed into diving onto you, onto getting onto your backline. It doesn't matter if Targamas catches 3 people in a Magnet Storm if Saken cannot get near you because he's hit up with a depth charge. Now he has a Blast Pop Blossom available as well. Top lane inhibitor has respawned. Cabochard and Saken were pushing out top, and because of that, Rogue just push down the mid lane tower, raise it to the ground. Still the gold lead, only 7,000. They did manage to take a dragon off that last fight, meaning Karmine Corp will have to wait 4.5 more minutes before the Mountain Soul is a possibility for them. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Rogue slow it down a little bit here, Betty. They have cracked a lot of these towers, but Rogue tend to be more of a patient team when it comes to closing out games or losing them, as has been the case so far here in Spring.
I mean, I don't think they have to be as scared as they currently are. Finn is very close to 16, so maybe they want to wait for that. They've moved the Ahri up to top lane, and they're going to have Larssen pushing that one in. That top inhibitor, of course, has respawned, so Rogue primarily trying to divide. But what is Markoon doing right now?
Blue buff spawns in less than 10 seconds,
yeah,
Betty. He's
I don't think that blue buff matters.
It goes to all of your team, Vedius.
Well, hang on. Root here onto Finn.
Dash in. Finn still has the flash. Unstoppable force flash away. That's big.
I mean, this is a big mistake from Rogue. Like,
but they do get the blue buff, Betty.
The fact that you said that with such, like, the way you delivered that was kind of like, you know how like we talk in the team fight, like they got 5 kills, but they did get the Baron. You know, he's like, I know, they lost the flash, they lost the ultimate, but they did get the blue buff.
And that's 5 blue buffs for the price of 1.
Yeah, I don't think Finn losing his flash and ulti was worth it.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, fair enough. Baron spawns in about a minute. Flash will not be up for that from Finn.
Yeah, but he has Zhonya's now, so if he gets caught out again, he can buy 2.5 seconds.
That's true. Upset does have his flash. Now, do I think Upset is ever killing Malphite? No.
It is Jack Show Sunfire Malphite, though, so not as much armor. I guess Zhonya's gives you a little bit of armor as well.
Do you want to tell you how much armor Finn has right now?
I'm going to say 250. 57.
He has 582. What? he has.
I have made an error in my maths, Betty.
He has 582. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. Okay.
Yeah. And also he gets more after 5 seconds of combat because Jaxo increases your bonus armor matrices by 30%.
Upset has Terminus though, so...
True, he does.
That's up to 30% armor pen.
It gives him...
If he gets 6 sacks on it, he gets 30% armor pen, right? So that means... Mathematically, it's only around 300.
I don't think Upset is ever killing Finn unless he stands still for a while.
Okay, so then who else could kill him? Well, usually look to your AP carry, who'd have something like a Rabadon's at this point in the game, Betty. Okay, it's Crypt Bloom, Hextech Rocket Belt, and a Zhonya's. 500 spears, maybe, as the charm goes down. Targamas caught out. There's the last embrace. Then deciding not to follow up onto only the Rell Urgot. Control ward going across here. Saken looking for it. Charm out again by Larssen as Rogue give up mid-pressure. Super Minions pushing in the bot wave. They're going to be about 20 seconds away as Bo goes forward. There, the pop blossom, it is only Finn and Zoelys. Saken pops a stopwatch. The root onto Larssen. He pops a stopwatch of his own. Finn gets a kill onto Targamas, and now Karmine Corp just routed. They look for something, a final fight that perhaps could have won them the game, or at least kept them in it, but I don't think this game's going on much longer. Rogue TP to the side lanes, and they are looking to close this out.
It is nothing but a slaughter as Rogue decimates KC. They're looking to secure their first win of spring, and a much-needed one at that. Upset is being chased down. It's going to be a kill handed over to Markoon. They will cement the ace, and Rogue will win their first game.
0-3 to 1-3, a long road ahead of Rogue, but perhaps the start of brighter horizons. For Karmine Corp, another disappointment. We'll see if they can refine the form that they had in week 1 tomorrow.
I mean, the Malphite pick was glorious.
But we read it. Like, no offense to us, Betty, but if we see the Malphite angle, Karmine Corp probably should have seen it as well.
I mean, Finn...
Maybe they just thought the Urgot could deal with it.
Finn absolutely smashed that game. I think that he just made it impossible for Upset to play. You can vote for your Kia player of the game at LEC on X, Markoon, Larssen or Com. I'm sad Finn's not on the board. I understand the choices, but this Malphite, in my opinion, was it.
It was it, but the pick was it. I don't think Finn's performance on it was it, right? Like, Markoon went 7-1-7, Larssen went 7-0-7.
Put Freddy on the board.
Freddy on the board, that's true. And in a few moments, we'll be having an interview with one of our Rogue players, I believe, as they did pick up their first victory. But before that, Betty, name the 15 champions that infinitely stack in League of Legends.
I'm going to save that for a special episode of something that's not happening right now.
Bard.
Bard?
Yeah. Chimes.
Oh, another one. That's what you meant. You just shouted Bard and
Velvet
I was confused.
Well. Who else did we miss before? Nasus,
Congratulations again to Rogue. Commiserations to KC.
And Viego.
We, of course, are back again tomorrow. We have more action in the LEC. We will reach our halfway point in the regular season tomorrow as teams will be embarking on their 5th game of the regular season.
You're expecting some Cogmore then?
Why would I expect Cogmore?
With the embarking. It's been that sort of day, guys. Yeah, tomorrow we have some big games. Obviously, G2, Fnatic, and Vitality sitting at the top of the standings. G2 4-0, Fnatic and Vitality sitting at 3-1. I don't think many people would have expected Vitality to be up there at the start of this week. And for now, someone that you might not have expected standing on our LEC stage. It's Ginny with Markoon.
Thank you so much, guys. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ginny, joined with Markoon this time around. Congratulations on your first win.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're happy about it?
Yeah, so happy. Like, I mean, starting 0-3 in this format is very stressful, right? Because there's 9 games. You've already lost 33% of your games, so the pressure was a bit on, but I'm happy that we bounced back a bit.
Quick maths. 33%, correct. A little bit of pressure coming into this, and it was a bit of a back and forth, but it felt like when we're looking at the way that you guys approached the game this time around, there was more of a focus towards the top side rather than the bot side. Would you say that's the main reason behind the success found this time around?
I mean, kinda. It also comes down to, I think we had a better game plan coming into the game. Like, I wasn't going to focus too much on helping our bot lane, and I was going to get myself ahead, because I'm Viego, right? So I want to make sure I'm ahead of the tempo. And then once they messed up like one bot dive, I'm not even sure what happened. I wasn't watching, but after that, I knew the game was kind of won.
Well, looking at topside as well, Finn is back, and you've played together before. So how does that feel? How is that synergy going along?
Yeah, working with Finn, I mean, I knew it was already good, right, from my time in Excel, but I think it just brought another voice into this team with new opinions and a new way of looking at the game, and it's been very helpful in reviews and stuff to just keep it fresh and keep us talking about the game, because I think last split we were struggling a bit, like figuring out the mid game, and Finn has really helped us with that.
Would you say that's potentially what was missing?
Yeah, I think we needed another voice, and Finn really brought that into the team, so probably, yeah.
Okay, and looking at the changes between winter to spring, obviously you're talking a bit more about Finn being part of it, having that open dialogue going on. Is there anything else that's been happening behind the scenes? Because, you know, you guys are starting slow, but again, you got your first win already. That's a lot earlier than last time.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't think much changed. Like, we realized we were improving, but we just weren't improving fast enough, and I think we didn't really show what we could do last split. So we just kept on like doing what we were doing and focusing on the small things, which really helped us. And then now we're finally like kind of being more calm on stage, and it's allowing us to like play these games, because we do tend to have a bit of a slower attitude towards the game. And
yeah, you do.
if you misplay a lot of plays while playing slow, it just looks like you're completely inting and doing nothing, right? So it's finally like working out a bit.
It's funny that you say that, because that's kind of exactly what it looks like from an outsider looking in. It's like, okay, you guys get leads early on potentially, but then slowly over time you lose those leads and it ends up snowballing into a lost game. So you're mentioning these little things that you're focusing on. To be able to bring these games back, what exactly are those small things?
I mean, it's like small things, like where do you place your wards exactly? Like where exactly do you go after you get prio? Like when exactly do you want to base? Like a bit more focus on the details, so the game just runs more smoothly.
All right, well, thank you so much for the interview. We have Finn on the other side. He's ready for PGL. Is there anything you want to say to your brother?
My brother?
I mean, I feel like the bromance is going on, so anything you want to... your friend, your brother, you know, I don't judge.
Yeah, keep playing tanks, man. It's really working for us.
That's it?
That's all. That's
wow,
all. I can't give him too much ego.
Okay, fair enough. Well, PGL, guys, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ginny. And here we thought they had team synergy, but truth come hard here in the face of Finn. He is so sad. How does it feel to find out that, in fact, you're just the team's dog once again?
The audacity on these people, like, I do not believe it. Okay. We're gonna review this game, and we're gonna see the only point where we lost control was because of your fault, okay? So we're gonna go over this tonight.
All right.
And you're gonna hear it.
Well, let's roll the replays here, because we have both Finn, the player, and the broadcast analyst here with us. So obviously you can have a critical performance of your jungler.
Yeah.
It's always the fault of the jungler anyway.
I'm gonna analyze this gameplay really hard tonight.
All right.
I love the way you're not celebrating the first win. It's just like, no, we're going to fire you.
This is not too much to celebrate.
You ruined the whole
mood.
mood.
0-3 and we win a game like this because my support in mid is like complete fakers. Like, look at this little ginger fox. He's zoom, zoom, zoom. Boom, 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 boom. 3 kills for him, and I'm playing the Malphite. It's a complete free win. It was very easy game to play from this point onwards because this match was so hard.
A quick reaction on the Urgot line pick. That did not work so well. Was surprising.
Unexpected.
Unexpected.
Yeah, you know, like before every game day, you like sit up at night. You're like, oh, what I'm gonna play tomorrow? What is it gonna pick? I'm like, there was no Urgot in my simulations.
No.
That was a shock.
9 billion scenarios, and Urgot was none of them.
My Stone Cold Rock was ready. The Glacial Malphite. It was ready to be brought out here with a nice little ult to give a reset to Markoon, which is really needed, of course.
Hitting them with
them.
their
They can't play without me,
outplays.
of course. I need to set them up every single time. But I guess if I play tanks, I can do that. That's what he needs.
You did deal more damage than him, which is nice.
That is pathetic, isn't it? He's playing Viego, and his top lane tank does more damage.
That is actually ironic.
And then he has the audacity to go waffling in the post-game. I'm speechless.
Yeah, a grudge match incoming within the Rogue members, though. But yeah, Finn, first win. Must be bittersweet because of the start of the season here. I know we had a chat last week about things taking a bit of time, maybe, to being put in motion. Even though you're reuniting with some teammates that you know, how does this one feel?
I mean, expected, I guess. I expected us to win every game. I thought we would come in really strong. And then we go on stage, and I think there's just a lot of nerves in our team. You can see it in our gameplay. There's rogue time starting from minute 1. And it's just sad, you know, because I don't think this is the team we are. I think we're a lot more vicious than what we're showing. And I really think with time we will be able to show what we're good at on stage. But this day was a small step forward for Rogue. And yeah.
And what's the process of trying to, like, get rid of those nerves? Because, like, I even coupled him, we can, like, backstage one of the days, he's like, scrims are fantastic. Like, we look great in scrims, but just transferring that to the main stage isn't happening. So what is that process of, like, trying to get yourselves in a position where you can bring that ferocity to the stage?
Well, you gotta look at it from an analytical standpoint.
Words are hard. It's
Words
fine.
are super hard, even as an
Left us
analytical
for
analyst.
3 weeks, and look.
I know.
You have to look at it like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, we are not pouncing on their timings. Like when we have a fight timer, we have to know that we're strong to fight. And we have to look at them in the eyes, and if they're giving us a fight, we take it. What we would do is, they would be our fight timing. We would be like 10 seconds late on realizing it's our fight timing. And then, when it's not our fight timing anymore, we go for the fight. And we lost the timing. And it's just sad. So I think it's just about building this presence in game where we know that, like, okay, we have to make it really clear that we are in a good position to look for fights. And when we're looking to get fights, you start a fight. I don't care if you're inting. Just like, this is the process we're at right now. If we're looking to start a fight, fundamentally, just make it happen. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're flash hooking into a wall, Mickey X style. It's completely fine.
Go for it.
We just have to start at square one, you know. So right now we're just doing that, and I think today was a small step forward. It was a really slow game, despite us kind of winning the game really early. So that felt a bit bad, but you know. Baby is finally taking its first steps.
What do you want the team to look like, though, Finn? Because when I hear you, you transpire confidence. So I imagine that you translate this confidence into team talks and how to actually build on these fundamentals. But when you think of Rogue, the players that you have, what do you guys want to look like? What should the identity of the team be?
I can summarize it in one really good word for you. Good.
Simple, straight to the point.
But like I just think like there is League of Legends, and it's just League of Legends. At the end of the day, we played this game for so many years that we all had success in our teams. Even Zoelys had a lot of successes in the LFL. So we just gotta find middle ground. You know, like. Usually there's like 2 or 3 plays that are good, but if one guy goes for one play and one guy goes for another play, like both plays are really bad. So it's just, we just have to get on a middle ground and just figure out what kind of our direction as a team want to be. Do we want to pounce really heavily on enemy mistakes, or do we want to just like play for control? There's just so much to go into, but I do really think that it's just about figuring out what is working for us and sticking to it.
All right. There's improvements though, Rob, because Dagda, Rob as well. We look at the game last week, the one where they have the entire early game and things crumble in mid game. Today they took the win, so mid game solidifying. Rogue finally finding their groove. Where do you see the differences between their gameplay last week and this week?
Yeah, I agree with Finn, right? Which is like they're more willing to actually make plays. Because I think the big thing was last week when you were looking at the Kalista, where comp had gotten really fed in the early stages. I think there was problems with like where you assigned the Kalista and like lanes, like what lane in the mid game, and then also like being able to play off of that advantage into, hey, we want to play aggressive into the enemy jungle, we want to play aggressive in team fights. When I came into this one, I felt like you guys were more confident in that regard, where I was like, hey, we've got these early leads, we can actually try and play for team fights, but also be cognizant of when you were best to take those fights. It was like, hey, draw people into chokes before we engage, rather than just like throw in a blind hook and hope for the best, or go in with the Malphite too early and kind of screw everything.
I think really patience is the name of the game with our comp. Like for example, especially for me as a Malphite player, like it's so nice to just go and boom, ult some guy. But really, like the longer I keep that ult, the more pressure is on their backline. So I think we had a really good segment, until Mark entered it, around 4th Drake, where they are overgrouping for Drake really early, while Larssen is just pushing with 6 Rebels topside. And I think this is like, if you want to look at Rogue and see like what kind of team we could be, you go look at 4th Drake, Rogue versus K Corp, and enjoy.
Enjoy the ride.
But just don't look at Mark.
Sit back and watch.
It's just, you can look at Mark. You can look at his disgusting int. You should know that,
He should know that. I mean, I think this entire PGL is going to be Mark bashing.
He called me a tank player, like,
Yeah, he's going to eat this one for a while.
He kicked first, that's all I'm saying.
I want to follow up a bit on you, Finn, because you're joining a team that made almost dead last split, that has been struggling for a while. You're called in like this emergency situation. How is the pressure on your side, and how are you drinking that pressure, actually?
Drinking the pressure?
Yeah.
With a straw.
With a straw.
How am I drinking the pressure? No, but it's just like, I don't feel that much pressure.
Okay.
I feel like I come in and I try to offer my skill set to the team and try to fill in the gaps that were there. So for me coming in, like I've been with the guys for like a month now. think first weeks was like, okay, what is currently lacking in the team? And what can I do with my abilities to fill those holes? So whether that is in communication or in terms of post-game analysis, I'm trying to do my best. I don't feel that much pressure because I know the guys already. Like I know Comp, Larssen and Mark very well, and Zoelys is a funny guy, so it was pretty easy to get to know him. So I don't feel a lot of pressure. I just feel a lot of determination because for as long as I have the right to play on the stage, like I want to aim for the top. And now when I'm giving the right after not having it in winter, I need to make the most out of it. But that, whether or not I let pressure get to me, that's my problem. But I just kind of choose to ignore it right now. I feel pretty good about myself.
I love the attitude, and I love something you mentioned, the fact that, I mean, you're one of these players who had to step out and wait for a chance to come back. And I don't think it's an easy situation as a pro player because you see new players rising. You're like, am I ever going to get called back? I think in your case, there was an argument that you're one of the best top laners we have in Europe. For the LEC, it makes sense that you would have a spot at some point. But this time that you spent with us, actually, we miss you at the desk. But I guess that
you're so sweet.
It allowed you to reflect maybe a bit on what kind of player you would want to be when you come back. Any learnings or takeaway from your time out and of the LEC?
I think I never watched as many games as I did during this break from last November, I guess, till where I am right now. And you do really learn to see the game from a different point of view when you watch so much League of Legends every single day. You keep seeing the same things happening. And what I did, like, I just started to look at before every game. So when I watch games, I look at the game-defining moment. I choose the game-defining moment, like depending on what I think it was, and then I go and look at the 2 minutes leading up to that game-defining moment, and I try to figure out why it happened like it did. And I think that gave me a lot of insight to what kind of mistakes are common and what kind of things actually make you win games.
Yeah.
I think before I was tunneling a lot on like top lane moves and like what I could do, but what I realized is that if you don't know what to do, the best thing is not to look at what the map is. The best is to look at exactly where your teammates are, because that kind of tells the story. So I try to, like, if I ever feel lost, I just look at where my teammates are, and then everything becomes very clear. And I think that kind of reset has given me a lot of confidence in game that even if the game gets messy, I just have to look at my teammate's position, and I know exactly where to be on the map.
Any words on your Korean bootcamp? Maybe Rob, you wanted to say something?
I was actually about to say, I know from going over to Korea, you were kind of saying, look, I learned new perspectives on like how Udyr, the impact that I can have on this champion in the early stages. Do you feel that coming back from that, not only like with working on, hey, how are my teammates doing? How can I facilitate them better? Have you learned even more so with the new knowledge you've gained from that bootcamp, how you can solidify that better?
I think the bootcamp was just to make sure I was in my best individual shape coming into the league. Because when you're out and not scrimming for a while, naturally you're stuck in the purgatory that is EOS solo queue as your only terms of practice. And
Korea ain't better from what I hear.
So I would rather be like in Dante's second level of hell than like the 7th level
that
of
makes
Dante's hell, which is Korea versus EOS, and the NS solo queue, of course, is the last level. It's where the devil himself stands. But no, it was nice going to Korea. It was mostly for individual practice and, of course, the food.
The food is amazing. We could do an entire PGL about Korean food, but I want us to focus on the LEC a bit more here. Schedule, guys? Standings first? What do we want to look at? Standings. Let's take a look at the standings.
Look at the standings, that's a great idea.
Where we end things.
Actually, that's a bad idea. That's wait a second.
I mean, it's not a good look on you. Right? But I do want to point out that we have a 4-way tie for 7 to last place right now.
But you still put us, guys. You still put us last. That's kind of.
Isn't it alphabetical?
Yeah, I think. No,
it's
Giants
not.
is somewhere. So we just decided that you guys are still going to stay.
No, we're waiting. We're waiting to see more from you guys. Actually,
that is a low.
Starting with.
Guys, come on. We're already like feeling the pressure you guys did.
I mean, prove yourself tomorrow.
No, but okay. So it's not looking that bad for Rogue Esports Club organization right now. We got a win today, and we're gonna get 2 more wins this weekend. We're gonna end up 3-3 and. Not too shabby, I think.
Not too shabby. Want to talk about tomorrow's matchup, maybe?
Yeah,
Vitality.
Tomorrow we're playing against...
Vitality, second game.
Vitality, right there. Okay, cool. We're playing as Vitality. I mean, Judging from scrims, we should stomp it.
Okay.
But that is the classical Mickey X. That's the classical G2 as well. Scrim Championship. Vitality, of course. Today their game was really fun actually.
Yeah.
And I think they're really aggressive players, and we have to really. I think Vitality is the team that, like, if you look at it from a narrative perspective, should run over us, right? Because we are not the best at punishing mistakes, and they're very fast at it. And it's a good challenge for us to overcome, I would say. To beat Vitality tomorrow means that we've shown serious improvement, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, as you should be. Any words on the match of the week?
I was going to say, I'm surprised that this is a 1-3-1-3 battle. Like, both these teams, I mean, for Mad Lions Koi, a team that was in our finals, looked great against G2 in our winter finals, but now find themselves battling out for potentially what could see them at the bottom of the table if Karmine Corp get ahead of them. So, yeah, it's kind of surprising to see just how far they've slipped down. And now, for Karmine Corp, a chance to get at least one up over the Spanish representative.
Yeah, I mean, with the format we have, the break that we have, you don't know what teams are going to look like, honestly, when they come back. And you have so little time.
Also best of ones, right?
Yeah.
So, like, Rogue lost 3 games the first week. That's just, like, showing how volatile best of ones can be. Like, even a good team like Rogue can...
I do like how we interview at the start of... Like, we interviewed you coming into the split, and you were like, 3-0, easy for the weekend. And we're like, oh, God. And now we're just getting you to say 3-0 again, so that we can just clip it a second time.
Well, who would I be if I didn't say 3-0?
That is
fine. I have to believe in myself.
Any wild guess prediction on this wonderful Uber Eats match of the week?
There's, like, two different guesses I can't do. Okay, the wild guess would be Jacob winning, I guess.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I like Mirwin. Mirwin is a really good guy. I really like watching him play. I'm excited to see what he plays tomorrow. I really like watching his VODs.
We'll keep an eye on.
I'm cheering for Mirwin. Let's go.
Finn, thank you so much for joining us. It was great.
Thank
Please come back. It was really, really fun. And Dagda, of course, thank you so much for being with me today. We'll be back tomorrow, of course. That's all for us here on the first day of week 2. You can now head over to the LCS actually to watch the playoffs between 100 Thieves and NRG. And Jad, I hear there's a conspiracy going on. Conspiracy? What is going on over in the LCS?
Thursday, March 14th, 2024. After finishing the regular season at the top of the standings, 100 Thieves inexplicably played like a completely different team versus Cloud9. It called into question everything they accomplished in the regular season. So, I went on Twitter and did some research. Remember, always do your own research, like me. What you saw on the stream was this. But this video was taken the very same day.
What the? So I'm at the studio for Cloud 900 Thieves, and where the hell are these guys? What's going on?
As you can clearly see, 100 Thieves wasn't actually 100 Thieves on Thursday. This proves technology has gone too far to allow this level of deception on a global stage. Did 100 Thieves never show up to their playoff series? Speaking of which, has anyone ever seen Golden Glue and 11-time NBA championship coach Phil Jackson in the same room? Give it a thought.
Can be botted 10, okay? Ja, Kill this first. Good guys. We end up. Nice. You guys thought it's lost by the after Rell game?
Performance here, trying to convince them that there is no jungler in the area. Oh, that's the E. Dash back. Knock up, flash follow for the stun. Good damage coming through. Nobody wants to heal with the execute from Razork.
Varus, kill Varus. Varus no flash. Very good, Oski. You win. No flash. Hands best area.
I got me a skunk with them.
To
kill him off. Yanko's on his way down, and Hansama only has a cleanse to get away from the Rell. Flash, shadowing strike. Yankos on the board. Mickey falls as well as Yankos claims a double.
You should die here, but... Come on, King.
W for you.
Nice. Oh, nice touch.
Yes,
no flash, by the way.
Avut.
Nice, huge.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, we won the game.
Bush doesn't want to step any further. What are you doing?
Penta. Yeah, come. Penta.
Give him Penta, please.
Oh
my god.
It's Sunfire, by the way. I swear it's Sunfire. It was Sunfire.
Guys, I didn't flash it out, flash combo, and I almost lost the game because of it.
In just a moment's time, Targamas almost falls. There's the death charge, though, perfectly played by Zoelys. As Larssen comes in for the cleanup, there's 2. Look for 3 as Larssen dashes forward. The charm connects. He tries to dive back in. Targamas tries to dive onto the backline. Finn goes down, but now it's on Larssen and Corp to really open up. Bo next to ball. Upset dancing and weaving his way around the fight. But Markoon stolen. The disdain of Karmine Corp.
My god. No, my f***ing god. Let's go, boy. Haha.